So good, so good, so good.
Everything you want for summer is at Nordstrom Rack stores now and up to 60% off. Stock up and save on the brands you love like Vince, Sam Edelman, Frame, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Girl, winter is so last season. And now spring's got you looking at pictures of tank tops with hungry eyes. Your algorithm is feeding you cutoffs. You're thirsty for the sun on your shoulders. That perfect hang on the patio sundress. Those sandals you can wear all day and all night. And you've had enough of shopping from your couch. Done hoping it looks anything like the picture when you tear open that envelope? It's time for a little in-person spring treat. It's time for a trip to Ross. Work your magic.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for May 4th. May the 4th. We've got to tell people May the 4th be with you last week. Sorry. Happy Mother's Day, because this is being released the day after Mother's Day. I think we forgot to say that at the end of last week too.
Yep.
So you're getting it a day later, ladies. So May 4th through May 8th, 2026, we have a couple Port Charles pipelines. First one is I want to correct myself on how to pronounce that store that I went to, because it's Menards, like Bernard, and it's played all through the thing. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was Menards.
Yep.
That's how I've heard everybody pronounce it. So, okay. It's like that store, Ollie's. I can't ever say it right. So I say it both every single time. I say Ollie's every time.
There's a, they play a commercial in the store like every 20 minutes. So.
All right. Well, now you know.
Menards. It's a great store. So that was fun. We have a few messages. That is a technical difficulty email, but I thought was a fan, and it's not. All right, so it's a link from Louise, and it is an ad for Jonathan and Claire, their songs and stories from Music City in New Brunswick. And then she sent a second email because for some reason it wouldn't let her also write it in the link, like with the link and everything. Mm-hmm. It says, "Hola, my lovelies. I just sent you a link to Jonathan Jackson's show in New Jersey. I tried to write a message in that email, but my dumb phone won't let me." I get that. Phone technology is horrible. I'm so excited. I want to go. I never get to see any of our people, and they are showing up at Cousin Vinny's. I enjoyed Lucky. Okay, here's what we need to do. If you are by yourself in an area, write in, let us know that you want to go to something, and we will share it on the podcast and maybe connect you guys.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So if you guys have an event that you want to go to, I saw Stephen Bradford for the first time by myself.
You did?
I had a good time. And at Jonathan's and Claire's, there were a lot of people who were actually by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I enjoyed Lucky singing on GH. And this is where my soul is. Sorry, that's my little addition. But when I saw Jonathan perform Unchained Melody, I was just transported.
Yeah.
Reading that sentence just warms my heart. Like, I know exactly what she's talking about. Couldn't believe my ears. I love that song, but have never heard it sung with more soul and feeling than when Jonathan sang it. I became an instant super fan. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone here who still follows GH or wants to go to the show. That said, I will be there with bells on. Good for you.
Yay.
Good for you. Go by yourself. Make friends with the people there. Seriously, at least in our experience, any of the shows we've gone to, you're in a room with GH fans. A lot of the people are GH fans before necessarily Nashville fans. Mm-hmm. Amanda and I were both. So I am so happy for you. When is it? Why doesn't it say when it is? So if you are in New Brunswick, New Jersey, June 6th, 12 p.m., so noon, doors open at 10:30. Looks like tickets are $59. VIP single ticket is $82. The VIP ticket is what Amanda and I got, and that's where we were able to have the photo op afterwards, and where I completely blew my chance at talking to Jonathan.
Maybe you can have her hand in one of our business cards. Be like, hey, listen, I listened to their podcast. They're legit. They didn't just seriously start that day. I promise.
Yes, please give us some kudos. Be like, they saw you in Pottstown and didn't have a business card because I had a different purse that day and just totally flopped. Amanda took one for the team that day. But it looks like it's at Vinny's Brand Stress Factory Comedy Club in New Brunswick. Like I said, June 6th. So if anyone would like to join, Louise, right in, connect you guys. Louise, we are assuming that this is okay with you without even asking. Okay, I guess this is one of the dangers of us not reading these emails until we record. But I feel like where it was mentioned that there's no one near her that watches the show, I feel like that's a fair assumption. So I know you ladies are in PA and have already seen them in concert, but I thought you might be interested. Oof. How far away is it? We were actually talking about going to the Ohio one of the Ohio ones. Stress Factory. It's only 5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not. We'll talk off there.
Yeah.
Well, need to go finish my mom's Mother Day basket. She's a 92-year-old beauty who still dances to salsa music, and she is still and forever will be my queen.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
Hey, I love you. I don't know. I'm feeling very sentimental now that she mentioned Unchained Melody. My heart's like right there. Girl, I'm like ready to cry over what you said about your mom. Hasta luego, Belazaz. I don't know. I did not take Spanish. I'm sorry. I took French. See you at the pier.
Aww.
Oh, that is probably one of the sweetest.
That is super sweet. Making a whole basket for her mom.
I know. Okay, so I need to know what's in the basket.
Right?
And from Calla Lily. Okay, so I thought about this as I was listening on Monday. Who's Ethan's dad?
Luke.
Who's Luke's sister?
Bobby.
And who's her daughter?
Carly.
And who's her daughter?
Jocelyn.
So that would make them.
Oh my God. How have we never got there before?
Because we were just reading an email and it was, I forget who it was that wrote in that they were considering Ethan and Joss. And we were like, oh yeah.
I mean.
So I'm sorry. You mentioned Ethan and Joss. Aren't they kin? They are. Carly's Bobby's daughter. Ethan is Luke's, isn't he? I don't want another group of kissing cousins. Listen, we had a momentary lapse in judgment because I don't feel like we've ever seen them together as family. So we automatically know Lulu, but we've never really seen together as cousins.
That's so funny.
And then also this one, oh my gosh, I will say this one. I didn't realize, I guess it makes sense. They're close to our age, but I don't think I realized that these guys were as old as they are. From Sherry, on your last weekly recap, you mentioned Ethan would be a better match for Joss than Nathan because the age gap is so big. I think is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Ethan's only a year younger.
Okay, fine.
And it's, in my opinion, worse than that because they are 39 and 38, while Joss is 22. They could be her dad.
Yeah, no.
All right. So can we just delete that part of that weekly recap, guys?
Right? Oh my God. Yeah, no, I would definitely have a problem with that. Ew.
I mean, that's a stretch for them to be dad, but at the same time, it's not.
And no matter what, that's just too much of it. No.
Yeah, no. And I really don't think it's happening now with Cassius.
Right.
Cassius. When we were doing the Lucy connection or the Lucy recap, we talked about Lucy and Scott wound up with a swag bag baby at the nurse's ball and then talked about adoption and stuff like that. Storyline does that sound like right now?
What do you mean? I mean, they even said it to Ethan this week. They were like, we were just talking about adopting and then here's Phoebe.
Oh, so yeah, I was not aware that this was a similar story that they had told before. But also we didn't get deep into the Lucy and Scott story. It was just that one sentence about how they discussed adopting baby. They just randomly came across.
Yeah.
At least that's how I understood it. Do you have anything fun?
I do not. I'm just laughing with embarrassment that we're yeah, Joss and Ethan. Oh my God. Oh, and meanwhile, if they try it, we will be the first ones to be like, oh my gosh, they're related. That's disgusting. Let's go back to it.
Where I think some of it also is that he had just gone to see Robert and Holly, and we know he is not Robert's son. But I think that just subconsciously gets us in he's Robert's son because that's what he thought for a while.
Yes.
Mode. So it's we knew that, but we just weren't thinking of it because of that. Like he had just seen Sasha, he had just seen, even though it's his mom. Guys, we forgot that Holly was also involved in the Lucky stuff.
True.
So.
True. I won't apologize, although everyone is correct with the age thing, because in my mind, Ethan is still the same age he was whenever he saved Christina from Kiefer.
Oh, see, I wasn't going there. I thought that they were like in their earlier 30s, but it does not make sense. But in my head, because Nathan was when he died.
Right.
So in my mind, even though I know he's been gone for 7 years, and he was in his 30s when that happened, I am just assuming, to be fair too, he looks like he is not aged a day.
True.
So yeah, momentary lapse in judgment, but appreciate the grace that all of you gave with that.
Right.
And if anyone else was like us and did not pick up on it, there you go. And then this coming week, how perfect for Mother's Day. We have our first mother-daughter fan spotlight.
Yes, that is perfect. Look, we planned that.
Yeah, we sure did. We did not get that email taken care of for almost 3 years just so we could have it line up.
It is a perfect Mother's Day episode, though. Once they hear it, they are going to agree because they were just the cutest pair ever.
Absolutely wonderful. So Emily and her mom, Renee, we talked to them on Thursday. And so if you would like to be one of our fan spotlights, just go to our website, generalhospitalpodcast.com, fill out the form, and we will not take 3 years to get back to you. Promise. So you said you don't have anything?
I don't.
All right. Lulu headlines. On Monday, Jocelyn's in danger. Lucas is threatened. On Tuesday, Ethan delivers intel to Sunny. Rick is tested. On Wednesday, Dante seeks out Liz. Ethan covers his tracks. Let me just talk about how good Ethan looks right now, though. Real quick. It's working. Thursday, Harley gets alarming news. Molly is suspicious. And on Friday, Sunny takes extreme measures and Dante is flabbergasted. So one thing I want to remind everyone of when you listen to this upcoming week's 411 conversation, this week had not happened yet.
Right.
Because there is a lot of guessing. That's great guesses. That did not happen.
Correct.
But I really like their theory more on who was going to come into Carly's room.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about that part, right? We're not going to talk about their guests right now. You have to listen on Thursday to hear that conversation. We are not talking about it.
Right. So is that where you're starting? Because it's your man?
I guess. Didn't actually, but I was just thinking, I'm like, but we cannot talk about that. I really, really, really did like that. So Brennan walks in, which we saw at the end of last week. Oh, that's really where we should start on Mondays. We need to be writing down what the cliffhanger from Friday is.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we usually mention, but then we were left there, and then it opens again
that's
with.
True. That's true. When he said, did you think there was not going to be consequences? Like he's yelling at her and she was so chill.
Yep.
Much more chill than she should have been.
She did a good job.
I feel like we can't talk as much about what happened just because I don't want to accidentally say something that we said. But I was not thinking Valentin was going to come out with a gun pointed at Brennan.
I didn't think I thought he was going to jump off the balcony. I was 100% of there's not going to be anyone there and she's going to
have a balcony. We're just assuming she has a balcony.
I'm assuming she does. Doesn't everyone have a balcony off their bedroom? I think everyone does.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I was assuming that he was going to have jumped off the balcony and been hiding, and it would just be an argument where he would be like, who is it? And her say, I'm not telling you, it's none of your business, it has nothing to do with us, and whatever. So I thought it was great that she got to stand there while Valentin was like, you want to know who my lawyer was when I was in Steinmauer? You want to know who came to me to work? Like, I did not twist her arm and get her in this setup. She is the one that sought me out as soon as she found out what you were up to. And that Carly got to sit there and say to him, like, why would I do this to you? Why do you think this would happen? You can tell, or I can tell that you know, so just say it. And he was like, well, Jocelyn wanted to. And she was not taking that answer at all. It was like, absolutely not. You set Joss up for making sure that she found Cyrus, and then when she killed him and all the things. And I was like, I'm so happy that she got to call him out on it. But it was definitely not the way I thought that it was going to go, just because I didn't think that Valentin was ready to be found.
Right. Meanwhile, he winds up all over the place this week.
Right, he's just walking around Port Charles like everyone knows he's there now.
I thought that was such a good scene. I think that Chris, what the heck is his last name? Whoever was Brennan. This is like the most range we've been able to see him have.
Yes.
And I like him angry. I don't like that I like him angry, but I think he's so meh whenever he's day to day.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, so is he just suppressing this anger? Like, okay, I'm not saying I like him being angry, but I like him acting.
Yes. It definitely gave him more depth.
Sure he was going, when she was in bed still before Valentin came out, I thought for sure he was actually going to hurt her.
Okay.
I thought that he was going to go, but not at her, but like do the aggressive, like trying to get her out of the bed and like, the shake of,
right, where is he?
To me and everything. Yeah. Right. But then Valentin tells him about Cullum.
Yes.
And Brennan doesn't know. Brennan, so I'm very thankful for that. Brennan doesn't know Cullum is who he is, really.
Right.
Then Brennan even says to Carly, I wonder how long it's going to be before Valentin betrays you too.
Yep.
Ooh.
That was good. It got her thinking, but it was still so much more satisfying to watch him be like, I don't need to turn in Valentin. I can just call them and it's going to be you who goes down, Carly. And then Valentin was quick to be like, no, because Cullum is a double agent and he's going to need a fall guy. He's already setting you up for that. So if you even think about going to him to tell him that I'm here, I will make sure that he knows all this stuff about you. And so then Brennan's like, oh crap, I can't do that.
Yep. And then Valentin put it together that Joss was who told Brennan.
Yes. And Carly was like, no, why would she do that?
Well, but that's the thing though. Like we kind of talked about it last week, but no, we didn't. I don't know if we talked about it last week or on Thursday, and like on the episode that's coming up on Thursday. And it's not, this is not giving anything away because it's talking about this Joss thing.
Right.
But I had said that like she's so mature in some ways, like in some ways she's still very immature. And like that's one of the things that even though she's a WSB agent, she didn't think that through. She did not consider, even though she had threatened her own mother with treason and a laundry list of charges.
Right.
At that moment, she just wanted to hurt Brennan. And she just did it.
Yep. Yeah, there was no reason.
She's considered it. But then we saw Brennan went to see Cullum as he was getting discharged and was like, okay, so we're just going to get you out of town.
Right.
And Cullum's like, nope. And I need every single one of all of your agents who's doing what.
Yep. How's he going to get around that one? Like, oops, I just happened to leave a name off the list. That's not going to fly.
Nope.
And Cullum says he wants all the information that the PCPD has given to the WSB as far as who his shooter was and what happened on that pier.
Yep.
I still don't like that they're bringing the WSB. It feels like bringing the WSB down to a lower level. Like, I've always thought of them. Like, they're a real agency. I've always thought of them as like the be all end all. You know what I mean? There's no agency higher than the WSB in my mind. And they're like, oh yeah, well, PCPD said that it's their jurisdiction, so they're taking it. And then the WSB has nothing to say about it. And later we hear again them talking about how Willow's trying to help get more money for the WSB. I'm like, what are we talking about? The WSB is its own entity. It does not take from local government. Like, it has nothing to do with it.
We don't know how that works. So maybe they're the equivalent, because do they ever mention the CIA? We've talked about the FBI.
We have talked about the FBI. I don't know that they've said CIA. But I feel like they can't be just equal with the FBI because they're World Security Bureau, and we see them.
What I'm saying is that, like, we know that they have not been based in the United States,
right?
So they're still not based out of Port Charles. Hold it, where's the WSB headquarters?
I love what your Google searches have to look like.
Main field office is in Port Charles. Other facilities include Geneva, Switzerland, and an office in Ithaca, New York, and Washington, D.C.
Oh, seems like a lot in a very small area.
Yeah. Also noted as a noted estate in Wales. So they really do have, I don't feel like they're based out of the United States.
No.
I would imagine that maybe each one of those governments provide some funding.
I mean, I would assume that they do. I don't know for certain how it works, but I'm assuming that like our FBI is funded by the federal taxes that people pay. Again, I don't know for certain, but I feel like if the FBI came to a local town, they would be like, all of the evidence is ours. So hand it over. We're the upper person. I mean, you see it in other crime shows where the FBI is more important than the local police. So wouldn't
Jagger?
Yeah. So wouldn't the WSB be the same way? It shouldn't even be a question.
I would assume so.
I don't know. Lots of questions as far as who belongs where and what they're doing.
Yep. But I also don't think, because I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I don't think the FBI can just automatically, they don't have automatic access to files.
Right.
They can't just walk. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like
there has to be cause for them to ask.
Something that I've seen, like it has to get, but I guess it depends on at what level did the crime happen? Like,
true.
Was it local and then had to get bumped up and now we're getting the FBI involved? Or I don't know.
I don't know either.
But we saw Nathan and Joss fighting.
Yeah, they were like fighting. Not like he just grabbed her arm and was like, okay, we're going to go now. She put up a good fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Except for she was stupid to let someone be able to get behind her. Like, I know he threw her over the couch and then got behind her, but she should have been more guarded as far as trying to keep her back against the wall. You know, in my extensive crime fighting experience and very physical fighting that I do, that's what I try to make sure I remember.
Well, he called her Agent Jax because she was like, oh, I'll just like leave, whatever. He's like, I can't let you do that, Agent Jax. And then he tells her that well, that happened later. But so after he knocks her out, he calls Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
And Sidwell knows.
Absolutely.
And took her to where they took Anna.
Yep.
Where she was locked. And, we see her a couple times just trying to escape and everything, yelling at Nathan. And then at the end of the week, we saw him go see her and tells her who he is. And he's like, well, Nathan's dead. She's like, well, I know. But, she said something. He's like, no, like Nathan is dead. I'm Cassius. Faison made Liesel think that he died at birth, and he hacked the police database to change his fingerprints. That's how all that happened. And she's like, oh, you're telling me this because you're going to kill me. Okay,
I 100% am with her that if they're giving too much information, they're probably going to kill you. But I still don't understand this twin story. Obrecht took Nathan and gave him to Madeline to raise because Faison didn't know she was pregnant and she wanted to protect her baby. But now, not only was she was pregnant with twins, and he took one of the twins. They're identical twins, but whenever he came for Nathan, when he found out about Nathan because of Lulu and whatever, when he saw Nathan, he shot him because he didn't know that was his son that happens to look identical to the son he has at home.
Correct.
Okay. Again, hasn't happened to me yet, but if I was in an altercation with someone and they looked identical to my daughter, even though I'm pretty confident I've never had twins, I would stop and hesitate for a minute.
So do you think that perhaps Faison still did not know about the pregnancy? Somebody was working kind of on the inside, maybe not necessarily reporting back to him, and disguised themselves as one of the midwives or whatever, said that one of the babies died.
Okay, but wouldn't you still realize that when you're looking at someone that someone's telling you is your child and they look identical, or someone told you have another child out there, and when you go to find that other child, if they looked identical to one of your children at home.
Oh, yes. Right. I see what you're saying. Yes, I was thinking the other way around. I'm sorry. Yes, like Faison would have recognized that
hey, wait,
who that was.
You look just like that kid I have at home.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. If they weren't twins.
I was stuck on the how could he have known about the pregnancy and gotten the baby. I blanked on that part.
If this is one of those times that I actually wish they would have used some type of face structure or something to make him look somewhat different, because Nathan and Cassius look identical. So how did you not know that Nathan was your son?
Yeah, it's an excellent question.
All right. So if your Faison ends up being alive, I have a whole list of things that I need to ask him because this isn't adding up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not convinced that Obrecht didn't know that there wasn't twins because, like we said, that hug was weird the other day. She didn't go on to say anything else, but I would like it to be in her brain of that was odd or that was weird. Something felt off.
Also, if she had just had that conversation with Joss, and I think she might have just also been just extra appreciative of the fact that she has her son back.
Maybe. I feel like I'll get a better explanation from Obrecht than I will from anyone talking about Faison. So I need her to just tell me what's up.
I think this is just one of those storylines that they are completely rewriting the history of.
Okay.
Hopefully they will address all of that.
I hope so. 'Cause I was okay with we didn't know that there was twins, except for he was supposed to not know that Obrecht was pregnant. So that doesn't make any sense. And then even if you didn't know there was twins, if someone told you had a long lost child and someone looked identical to your child, you'd question if that was also your child.
But what if it's like I said before, that he maybe didn't raise him too? Like what if he had him go off with somebody else?
Oh, I guess Cassius has not said.
He is not. He's talked about Faison and finishing his work, but
you don't know how close the relationship was because he hasn't talked about Peter either, right? No. And Peter never talked about being raised with a brother.
Nope. Cassius has not mentioned anything about like when Dad was raising me.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
I'm gonna guess maybe he was raised by somebody else and felt off, and then found out his real parentage.
Okay.
And is now, for whatever reason, doing what he's doing. Maybe he was raised by Cullum. Who knows?
Oh, geez, that would be horrible. Don't let that happen. I don't
know. I don't think you're supposed to like him, so he's doing a good job.
I know, but he's like really not my friend.
No, I don't think Cullum has many friends.
No, probably not.
Then Nathan went to Isaiah for help with injuries from fighting the perp.
Right. And I love that Isaiah was like, no, I'm sorry, you're mistaken. I helped Lulu out because she's my friend. You questioned me keeping things confidential. So why would you now come to me asking me to keep something confidential?
Well, he is a doctor, but taking it to the next level where like he can't even so he did pop 2 ribs, but Isaiah's going to order the CT scan. And he's like, we need to make sure that my name's not on the CT scan. Just put me as like a John Doe or something like that.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure Isaiah could get in big, big trouble for.
So I don't know. And maybe I should Google it. I do know that if you want to buy a house and you might have like PFA against somebody, you can actually, because records are public, it is possible to have a pseudonym used for that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So could they just have something that it is for patient confidentiality? I mean, do celebrities do that? Do celebrities have on their scans?
Oh, yeah. We're getting into a whole thing now. Yeah, I never thought about that. Okay.
Because I could imagine where people would be.
Right, trying to like sell stuff and be like, oh, right. This actor was in the hospital this weekend. Here's a copy of their scan. If you get paid enough, who cares if you don't have a job then? Yeah.
Great.
I never thought all that one out. There's more we need to know. Good theory. I like that.
And I get where he's coming from on that. So I don't think it's like so completely here. Okay. It's just, can doctors, patient. Hospitals can use pseudonyms to protect patient identity, particularly for high profile individuals, employees, or cases requiring high privacy, such as HIV testing. While the patient may use a fake name for registration, the medical records generally maintain a secure temporary link to their true identity to ensure safe and accurate care.
Okay.
Look at that. And the first thing mentioned is celebrities and high-profile patients.
Like it makes sense or something, huh? That's perfect.
Any patient who feels the need to be seen under a fictitious name can make use of the hospital's policy. This is clinician.com.
Okay.
Where's cookies pop? Patient is admitted and asks for his or her identity to be concealed. The medical center's master patient index is searched to see if that patient has previously been admitted, either as inpatient or outpatient. The patient has never been admitted before. A new medical record number is assigned to the patient, and the chosen fictitious name is affixed to the record at the time. If they already have a medical record number, the real primary name in the master patient index is changed to the alias, and the fictitious name added to the master patient index as a primary name during the hospital stay.
Okay. That makes sense. I know they can change names, like if you were in the hospital having a baby and you don't want someone to be able to just call and be like, oh, are they there or whatever for protection, that you can go under different names. But I guess I never thought of it for like routine things like that. So, okay. But either way, Isaiah is nice and he runs the tests, but then he gets called away to help with a transplant. And so he says to Britt, hey, can you take my patient in this room? And she's like, I'm not one of your like understudy people. I can just do whatever you tell me to. Call an intern, have them handle it. I'm not doing this. And he's like, no, seriously, I think you're going to thank me. Can you please go help this patient? And so then she goes in and is like, John Doe, oh, Cassius, what are you doing here? She doesn't even like jump to what did you do to Joss? She's like, what happened? What happened? After you just told him information and he said he was going to take care of her and you told him not to, that would be like fresh on my brain.
Right.
And he's just like, oh, I just got in a fight with somebody. It's fine. Well, then why do you need to be listed as John Doe?
Right.
So I'm
actually more surprised that he also was not mad at the fact that Isaiah just bailed on him because.
Right. What if he didn't want his sister to know?
Right. Like, wouldn't you have, if you wanted complete anonymity, wouldn't you call your sister doctor?
Yeah.
Your doctor's sister.
Doctor sister.
Either way, I think it works. Hold it. Yeah. You know where I'm going with that.
I do.
But, or even your mom.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So why did you come to me?
Yeah. I don't know. But she doesn't get like any information out of him, which I was frustrated by. And then we go on to see her a little bit later with Emma. I'm not sure what the whole point of that was. I was scared for a second they were going to try to make Emma pregnant.
No, do you want to hear my theory? And I hate it. And if they do it, I'm going to be so mad.
Okay, go ahead.
So she talked to her about changing her birth control because her current birth control is giving her headaches. And
yes.
It's like, do you want to discuss your options? You know, it's not just one pill. What if Emma does become pregnant after she switches birth control and then they blame Britt for sabotaging her?
Oh, okay.
Hate it.
I hate that too. But it didn't make any sense. Like, we've talked about this all the time. Like, we're women, we're all for women's health, but they don't make an example of themselves keeping up on everyone's women's health unless it is some major issue. And we were lucky that we got the Molly storyline that we got and that everything has followed up the way that it has and made sense for the most part and all of that stuff. So suddenly to see Emma be like, oh yeah, I need to go to the doctor and no, I don't want to wait a few months. I need to get my pill refilled. Just felt really off. I thought for sure she was going to be pregnant. And then when she said, oh no, she wanted her pill refilled, I'm like, why are we connecting these people again? Like, why are they becoming friendly? Because then she said, oh, I can put you back on Dr. Navarro's schedule for you to check to, you know, after you're on it for a month or whatever, you should make sure that everything's good. And Emma was like, well, I mean, I guess I can just stay on your schedule since you're the one that prescribed it. And I was like, that's weird. If I really didn't like someone the way that we know Emma doesn't like Britt, I would have put up with it for that one time. But no, I wouldn't be making a follow-up appointment with her.
Especially with something like birth control. It's not like it's a complex...
Right. It's not like you're the specialist versus I'm going to go with a general doctor. No, that would be silly. But
right. I did like that they had her ask all the questions, though, about, you know that you're monogamous, but are you sure that your partner is? You know, I did think it was funny because also Emma is younger and you would assume that this was not her first. And she's like, okay, cool. I'm just going to get my clothes on. She's like, yeah, so we still have to do your PAP.
Right.
That's kind of the point of this, you know. However, you don't have to get it done every year anymore. So,
right.
You know, it's, I do wish that because I was so excited when we found out that one. When we got to that point where they're like, although, is that only because I'm married?
No, I don't think so. And I think it depends on exactly how old Emma is, also what the guidelines are. Because I know the first time that I took one of my daughters and they wanted the pill, they were like, oh, okay, that's fine. You're not having any issues. And she wasn't. And so they were like, okay. And they did not do an exam. And I said something about, well, this was our first time at the doctor, so don't you just start, like, that's where your paperwork starts. We need a jumping off point to track the rest of her life.
You need a baseline.
And they were like, no, not until they said till she's 25. 25 is when they start doing yearly tests. Or when they do the first test. The jumping off point, as I like to call it, starts at 25.
And they're not recommended for under 21.
Oh, okay.
Starting at 21, they should be 21 to 29. It's only done every 3 years. And the only reason I said that was because of the questioning that Britt was having regarding partners and everything, and if you're not married, you could.
Maybe they do it more often if you've had a new partner, because her and Gio
That's why I was asking, is it this is the first time that you're, since you've had this partner, we should do one, even if it's within the 3 years. I wish that part had been discussed. So just for everyone who thinks I'm crazy right now, we did used to have to get them done annually, no matter what.
Right.
It's only fairly recently that, but I also think that change happened, fairly recently. And my 15 wedding anniversaries this month. So that's not that recent, but I remember it not being soon after that they made that change. And so I probably just connected those two, and it's like, oh, well, they're doing the assumption that, but then also the age of 30 to 65, it's every 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the guidelines. I'm not a good one to ask about the guidelines as far as back when, because since my husband was a cheater pants, I used to have it done anytime that I went because I wanted to make sure that I was being safe. So,
and I really hope none of that came off as offensive or
it 100%
in any way, because I absolutely am not. It's just the guidance changed. The guidelines changed. And
it's more us expressing that we're old and that we're not sure where the guidelines fall, and maybe each practice gets to follow their own guidelines, as far as what they recommend. But that's according to the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecologists. Don't look up genealogy. That's not going to help us.
Well, that is how we get genealogy. So it's not completely too far off there. But and if you're a guy and have no idea what we're talking about, go do a Google search of your own, okay? And while you're at it, look up epidurals and episiotomies and tell your mom Happy Mother's Day.
And tell your wife I'm sorry.
Tell your mom you're sorry too. I did see that. That's been something there was something on TikTok that showed an epidural needle, and I had both of them with an epidural, and I've never seen the needle until that TikTok, because I told them, I said, I know what it does. I know it. We're good. I don't want to see the person because don't want to do it. It was the first time I've ever seen a needle, and I sent it to my husband and kids. And they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "That's what I had to get put into my back when I had you." Love you.
Welcome. Right.
All right, we don't have to talk about that group.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the epidural itself is bad. It's that paperwork that they make you sign as they're telling you that if you move wrong while they put it in, that you're going to end up paralyzed. That's what the scary stuff is. I only did it for 2 of my 4 because I was like, no thanks.
I have a blind faith in doctors that they're good at what they do, especially people like that. That's something that's what they do.
Right, all day. They're placing these. Yep.
Yeah. It's not it's a very routine thing. And yes.
Yep.
So,
all right, we can get back to change now. I'm not a fool.
But it really is just great that they are taking that step to talk about women's health. And I
hope that's what it is. Right. Exactly.
I hope I am so wrong, because also it would be nice if Emma has so many, and I like that she even said something when Britt mentioned something about HIV, and she's like, I know my mom got HIV from someone who didn't know. Are they carrying it? And it was almost like Britt actually forgot that. She's like, oh yeah, that's right. So I liked all of that. I do also agree. It's weird that she's willing to ditch her gynae to stay with Britt because she's giving her a new pill. But I don't know. I just don't want it to be anything.
Also odd. I just thought of this. Also odd that they don't have offices.
What do you mean?
Everyone
only goes to the hospital. Nobody ever goes to
right. We've talked about it with the pharmacy and how ridiculous that was, because if I was at work, sure, I'd stop at the hospital pharmacy to pick up some Tylenol. But if I was at home, I would not drive to the local hospital to get something from the pharmacy. I would stop at our local Walgreens. So same thing with these appointments. if you're having a baby, yes, you most likely choose to go to the hospital. But if you're just going for a yearly exam, why doesn't even Britt like have an office that she's doing these things and then she's in the hospital for delivering babies?
Right. And why have we never heard about them talking about urgent care?
Right? That just doesn't exist in Port Charles.
I have gone to urgent care and received good care. So I'm not saying anything against urgent care.
Right.
But how many people do go to urgent care when they really should have gone to the ER or really should have called their doctor or something, to get, because urgent care doesn't necessarily always get all of your information for what they need right there. And, sometimes there are a reason why you do call the doctor that's on call.
Yes.
So, yeah, why haven't we had that yet either? No dentists, no urgent care, and no private doctor's offices.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've never seen anyone leave to say, well, I'm going to go open up my own practice.
Right.
Does everyone in that town have the same insurance? Who are these insurance providers?
Right.
They have more of a monopoly than UPMC.
That's what I was just going to say. That sounds like a monopoly to me.
UPMC in Port Charles.
We really went way off this time. Sorry, guys. It popped into my head. Like, this is another odd thing that only happens in Port Charles, I feel like, because although I do know that there are some close to doctors, you're not actually entering the hospital for these procedures. You're not checking in at the same desk that you check in if you're having a hospital stay.
Right.
So, odd. But anyway, I do hope that this was just, we're going to continue with women's health is important, and that's awesome, because I don't want Emma to be pregnant. And I do not know what connection they could be making between the two of them, other than, okay, Rocco can say she was nice to somebody else. Like, because they're not the same. Emma and him aren't the same age for her to really be influencing what he thinks about Britt one way or the other. So I don't know.
True.
That didn't really go anywhere. So I'll go to what made me go, ugh, in the hospital this week.
What's that?
Rick shows up and is like, hey, Liz. And at the same time, Britt's trying to talk to her about who is in the NICU this week because she just delivered a baby. And Liz is like, it's nurse so-and-so, but if you have any other questions, you can check the schedule that's posted in our break room and you'll get the whole schedule. And then, or no, that was Dante that she had that conversation. Dante that Britt was whatever. Sorry.
Dante was like, hey, if you're going to go check that out, you can answer my questions at the same time. And it's like, no, that's not what that means.
No, they're not the same thing. So then she walked off for that. Who was Britt, or who was Liz talking to whenever Rick came in?
I think it was Britt, because Britt was being super antsy with Liz. No, that's what led to Dante. Was Liz talking to anyone? She might not have been.
Might not. Okay. I just picked.
She might have just been at the computer.
In my head, I see her in the nurse's station, and I'm like, there was a conversation there, but no, I guess there wasn't.
I just have it where Rick brings flowers to Liz again, and it's not interrupting.
Right. And so she says, I told you not to bring me flowers again. And he says, well, if you'll answer this question for me, then I will give these to whatever patient you want me to. And she's like, okay, what's up? So they step away from the nurse's station for a minute. And then he asks her to go away with him. And he starts listing off all the reasons why this is a wonderful place that she should go with him, thinking that she's going to just automatically say no. And instead she automatically is like, yes. And he continues listing reasons. And she's like, I said yes. And he's like, oh, I was prepared for you to have all these reasons why you couldn't go with me. And she's like, no, you've been talking about how much you wanted to go there and how nice it is and stuff. So I assumed we were leading up to this. And he says, oh, okay. And she's like, all right, so now that we have that set, go give these flowers to patient so-and-so in room whatever. And he goes to walk away and she says, but wait, give me a kiss. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so gross. Stop kissing him.
And then she goes to Laura.
And is like bragging about, oh, Rick's a changed person and he's so nice to me now. He hasn't locked anyone in a panic room lately. Like, come on. I'm sorry. I will say it again. There's a difference between not holding a grudge against someone for your entire life and just forgetting what they did to you enough that you're going to start dating them again. And
and that's what Laura summoned Rick to her office.
Yes.
I will say though, okay?
Uh-oh.
He's very respectful when he talks to Laura. Madam Mayor. and he's not, I don't feel like he's been saying it in a condescending way.
No.
It's been in a respectful way. But Laura's like, yeah, because Liz asked Laura to just keep an eye on Aiden. Like, he's old enough to stay home by himself, but he's probably going to get lonely and bored. And she's like, he'll bring over baked goods. So, and Laura's like, I will totally hang out with my grandson if he'll let me,
Right.
And yeah, she does her whole justification of going away. So then when Laura calls Rick, she reiterates that to him and is like, Liz was just here. She's super excited. And I do like that Laura does not bring up, but my son.
True, because it really isn't about her son. It's about the fact that she loves Liz and that she doesn't want Liz to get hurt because this is a common person that her and Rick have that Sidwell could use against them.
Yep. But then she's like, well, Liz made that decision, and it's kind of like what we were somebody listened to our podcast because they are fixing all those little holes, because that's exactly what I said. I'm like, Liz is making this decision without her all the information, and that's what's going to get her mad. But then at the same time, he tried to tell her and she said no.
But I don't feel like he was going to tell her all this. I feel like
he wasn't going to tell her that. He was going to tell her about the
basement. Yeah, he was not going to tell her about Sidwell, and that's what's putting her in danger. Yes,
exactly. And that's what Laura's saying, is like, you're putting a target on her back by bringing attention to her, because so far we have not heard Sidwell or Cullum. Cullum knows that she is the mother of one of Jason's kids, but we've never heard him connect with Rick or Sonny or anything. Like, Liz is not in that world. Now, by connecting her with the attorney of Sonny, it is.
Right.
And Rick admitted to a lot of things to Laura, except he left out where he considered killing Liz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he's going to admit that to very many people.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. I just don't like them together. I'm okay with them being friends. I don't like them together. And I don't like her just going with it. It's like nobody else is around. So I guess we'll get back with Rick. And then they're doing the weird stuff with Dante. And I'm like, are we going to try to have like a love triangle here? Because it shouldn't even be a love triangle. Because number one, she shouldn't be dating her best friend's ex-boyfriend, fiance, whatever he was. But on top of that, she shouldn't be with Rick. So I don't like any of those choices. And I don't like that Dante is putting her in the position.
Lulu's not her best friend.
No, Sam was for a while.
Oh, yep, that's right. Sorry, I forgot that they actually did. They weren't best friends, though. I think they became friendly towards each other, but I thought that they had kind of the same issues that Carly and Sam had. I thought that they just made peace.
I thought they had referenced them as like really good friends, just like they had done, like whenever they were putting all the girls together, just like they had done with her and Maxie. And it was like, when did we see them and Maxie together? Sam and Maxie.
I would take them as being like best friends more than, I would say her and Liz let bygones be bygones and kind of put it behind them. But I would never, I don't think I'd even say that they were friends. I think that they got to a point where they realized, okay, we're in each other's lives forever.
Yeah, they were stuck when it came to Jason. But anyway, the weirdness of Dante, I don't feel like that's normal Dante either, to ask Liz. I mean, she's putting her job on the line now. You're not just like, not that it would be okay, but, oh, I just left a chart here while I turned around to look at a different chart and you happen to peek and see. She's handing off blood samples. Like,
right.
Come on.
Although, so it was Cullum's blood samples, which also, how exactly did she get that? Because he was getting discharged like at the same time. And I feel like if you're still running tests, you're not being discharged.
Right.
So like, and I could be wrong, but I thought that things were destroyed after tests were run.
Right. Like if she had gone and got a blood sample earlier, all of that should have been in the lab. You didn't see her go down to the lab and try to steal a vial back. It was like she just went to Cullum and started drawing more blood. That was weird. I don't think that's how that goes.
No.
But anyway, yeah, she hands over a vial to Dante and is like, I'm with you. I want to figure out who did this and what happened, because Jason wouldn't just take the fall for anyone. But then we see him call Liz to his office and say that it was not Jason's blood sample. And they said exactly what I feel like we said last week of Jason's an experienced shooter. He should not be having that kickback that's injuring his hand. And so then Liz had to tell him, like, hey, I actually treated an injury like that. And you're not going to like who it was with, but I was pretty sure that's what it was. I just didn't want to say anything. And it was Rocco. So now we have to see where he's going to go with that. And at the same time is whenever we got to see Cassius over at Lulu's house screaming at her about how she needs to get him out of town right now. And I do agree that that's probably what's best for Rocco, knowing Cullum, but being Lulu and not knowing all the things that Cassius knows, I was very proud of her being like, who do you think you are telling me what to do?
Are you serious? See, I think, okay, imagine your ex is that adamant about you need to just take one of the kids and go because for their safety. Would you really question it?
But that wasn't her ex. That was Nathan.
No, but it is a police officer. It is a detective who straight up said when, not if, when Cullum finds out it's Rocco because he's being discharged and he even gave her like all the information. Like he is looking for who shot him. He knows that Jason didn't do it. He is going to kill Rocco. I would have taken that as, okay, yeah, I need to get out of here, especially as soon as he started getting super passionate about it because Nathan is a super chill guy. If he's getting that worked up over it, that tells me this is serious. And he's in position to have information that he's giving me a lot of information, but he's also in a position to have a lot of information I can't know about. He must really know something, and I need to take this seriously. She's stubborn. She's going to get her kid hurt.
She's stubborn, and I hope she doesn't get her kid hurt, but yeah, her kid's going to end up like in that same basement with Joss or whatever.
Great. And it's going to be her fault because she didn't listen to him.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have listened in that moment. I'm not saying that I wouldn't come back 6 hours from them and be like, hey, I thought about it. I'm going to go here or whatever.
It also is not the first time that they've had this conversation. And he let her do it before. And I hate the fact that I just said let her, but he let it go. He let it go. He was like, okay, fine, have it your way. You know, like, but this time he's like, no, seriously, you need to listen to me. Kid's going to get killed. We need to get him to safety now.
Yeah, but they're in such a new relationship. I don't know. I don't know how I would read that. I don't like someone telling me what to do.
If someone's coming at you about the safety of your child and saying this person is going to kill them.
I mean, knowing what we know about Cullum, yeah, but I don't know that Lulu knows.
She knows enough that he's bad enough that her son shot him.
But does she? Because she's kind of stupid.
That's on her. Yeah,
and in this part, I'm not going to try to identify because I don't feel like I'm that stupid. But she, I feel like, thinks, oh, he just shot Cullum because he saw Cullum and Britt fighting. And then he saw that Cullum was going to hit Jason. He was defending Jason. And that's what happened. Not.
If one of our first responder friends came to you and was like, this person's after one of your daughters. Like, they're going to figure this out. They're super smart. They're going to figure out that it was them. You need to get them out of here. And was talking like that, I think you would take it seriously. And she knows Nathan well enough. Yeah, they're in a new romantic relationship, but they at least had a friendship before.
Yeah.
I would take it very seriously if somebody, especially in law enforcement, was giving me the amount of information that he was, because you also know that there's so much that he's not. Granted, the stuff that he's not telling her is stuff that he also knows because he's in it.
Right. No, she can't know what she doesn't know, but I don't.
Even as just being a detective, you have to assume that they know stuff that they're not telling you, and what they are telling you is horrible. And so, yeah, I should protect my kid. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I know.
Go to Laura. Tell Laura, hey.
That's what I think would have been my next.
To help me get Rocco to Kevin.
That's what I would think would have been my next step. I would have been like, I'm not doing anything that you tell me to do because you tell me to do it. Like, you're not in charge of me and don't tell me what to do with my kid. But I then would have gone to Laura and been like, I would have gone to Laura then and been like, do you have some intel on this Cullum guy? What's going on? What do you think? And trusted her, maybe not with all the story, but with enough of it because it's your mom and she's not going to tell anyone. And then whenever
she has to some degree, if she finds out that Rocco shot Cullum, she knows that she has a duty.
But I don't think she would.
Right.
So.
But she would help get him out of the state.
Yeah, right, exactly. Once Laura told me to do it, I'd absolutely do it. But I don't know that I would do it just because Nathan told me to do it, because he was being a jerk.
He was not being a jerk. He's trying to save the kid's life. She's not listening. She's like, no, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to.
Maybe he should go take care of Cullum. Protect everybody.
There's a whole other thing going on there, but no.
be more like his brother
Just
than
like
himself.
She has to be right. Rocco's going to get hurt.
I mean, I agree that's how it's gonna come down, but I also see her not liking some man that she has not been involved with. It's been missing for the past 7 years, telling her what to do with her kid, and it's seeming like he just wants to get rid of him. I don't know that I would trust that he wants to.
See, she's making that up though. That's the story she's telling herself. Not my son shot a highly involved person in secret spy level that we're not even aware of. Yeah, he needs to not be there.
I'm not disagreeing with you that he needs to not be here. I just don't know that I would take Nathan the way that Nathan said it. Nope.
Well, she's not getting there herself. So he's needing to let her know. She actually thought about her kids, like their actual needs and not hers, because she tends to do that. She presents it as, I'm looking out for them, but it's not. She's looking out for herself. She's doing what she wants and wants the outcome that she wants, not the outcome that's going to happen. And then she's going to go, no.
Her and Nina can stand in the corner together and yell, I didn't know, because Nina didn't know anything bad was going to happen this week either.
Ugh. Are we going to that now then?
I guess so, because there's other than, Lulu didn't move Rocco. There's not much else to go with that.
Well, Valentin called Nina.
Yes, he did.
And she tells Drew about Valentin calling. He can hear you, Nina.
Right? As you're telling him, first of all, again, I'm so annoyed with the way that all of them talk to Drew. It doesn't make any sense. As Willow's leaving before Nina comes over there, she's doing like physical therapy with his arms and legs and is like, because I do want to keep you strong. Like, whether you believe it or not, when I let you out of this stroke, I want you to be healthy, to move on with your life, and us just both go our separate ways. And I'm like, I feel like you're talking to him in a way that you would not talk to someone. I don't know what you're doing. And then Nina gets there and she's like, okay, Nina, so now I have to leave because I just got this phone call. You're going to have to drug Drew again. And as Nina's talking to him, she is doing that same thing of like, Drew, I just wish that you'd come out of this, but I'm going to give you this drug that's going to make sure that you don't come out of this. Like, what?
Did we know that Sidwell was who hired Travis? Because we've still never met Travis.
No, I did not know. We did not know that Sidwell. But that makes good sense that he would know what was going on.
And that's why she keeps calling him off. So I'm going to say, because we talked about the fact that like he would not be being approved for the hours and everything. So I'm guessing Sidwell is private paying Travis for his time. And Travis is probably getting paid no matter what. So
he doesn't care. Yeah.
However, what we said a couple weeks ago about hours and being canceled and all that stuff in the real world, for those of us who cannot private pay,
no matter what. Yeah.
That's what would happen. So.
Right.
Yeah. And then Nina brings the needle to the door.
Bro, why is she just carrying it around the whole house?
Right? And she could have just left it in the room with Drew. She brings it with her. And then Brennan comes in and is asking if she has any information on Valentin. And then Valentin pulls up behind him with a gun. Like, what door did he come in?
Right?
Did he come in through the bathroom window?
He must have come in through the back door because there's different entry points. I don't understand.
I now have a Beatles song stuck in my head. She came in through the bathroom window.
Oh, geez.
James Patrick Stewart's dad knew George Harrison.
Oh, my gosh. You're such
He told me that.
I know, he did.
He did privately tell me that, too.
He did. Mm-hmm.
In my private video.
That sounds dirty. Don't say it like that. What else did he tell you in your private video, Shannon?
The video that my husband ordered for me for our 10-year anniversary, where he said something about the fact that we are huge Beatles fans and we had a Beatles themed one. Actually, I don't know why he would have told James Patrick Stewart that.
I don't know either, but that is good that he did. But thank you for clarifying, because when you say my private video, it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, not like that.
Now we all know why Shannon's in love with James Patrick Stewart. Anyway. Nina's just standing there.
Like, where's Joss?
Yes.
And Brennan's like, I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. And,
yeah, then they start struggling for the gun, and Nina just stands there and screams, no, stop, don't, you guys, no, stop, don't.
I was really, because they kept going to Drew, and he's listening.
I thought he was going to stand up and like, come on out. And then I thought he was going to get shot or something, and it was going to be like, how are we going to explain this?
Oh, see, I was thinking he was going to save. But instead, Nina grabs because she hid the needle under one of Wiley's trucks.
Which is real safe, Grandma.
I actually thought that that's what was going to happen, is that she was going to forget about it and Wiley was going to wind up finding it or something.
Oh, geez. That would have been awful.
Instead, Valentin and Brennan are fighting hard. And she stabs. Do you think she intentionally got Brennan, or do you think that she was just going for whichever one she?
I think she was going for Valentin. I think she was 100% going. Yes, because Valentin is whose back was facing her. They turned at the last second, and whenever she stabbed him, then she said, "Oh no!" Like she hit the wrong guy. I think.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. I don't know why she would do it to either one of them. Like, I understand you want to stop them struggling, but paralyzing either one of them does not sound like a good idea.
I think she was just going to go for whichever one. But also, okay, so I don't necessarily, she would have to push down on it for it to inject him.
Yep.
Right? Like, she could just stab him with it and maybe a little bit gets out, but they would not necessarily receive.
Right. But no, she injected them.
Yeah.
Like,
she could have stabbed him.
She meant to give that medicine. Yeah. I mean, and all the time that she stood there screaming, "No, stop!" She could have went and grabbed a regular knife and stabbed one of them not so harshly enough for it to stop and then the gun to be put down or whatever.
You just stab it between the shoulder blades.
Right. But no, she meant to paralyze whomever she stabbed, and I think she was going for Valentin. So not sure how that helped anything. And I don't know how many vials of Drew's stuff they have, but now they're going to have to get another vial of Drew's stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and how's Nina going to explain that one? Because she can't say anything about Valentin.
Right.
So this is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we're going to assume that Drew's going to come out pretty soon.
I would guess so. I don't know how long before that stuff wears off, because Willow seemed very adamant about they needed to keep on schedule. That's why Nina had to do the injection instead of like, oh, I'll just do it when I come back at 5. Like, who cares that it's off by a few hours? So how fast does that stuff work out of your system? Like, since we're at the end of our weekly shot.
Healing? So like, is he healing at the same time, even though he's being injected?
I would guess so. Right?
Because he seemed to be kind of wearing off a little bit, but I think like at the beginning, he definitely would not have been as strong as he
like build up a tolerance to it too. Like if it's a weekly injection, is it a strength like Tylenol? You need to take more of your
iocane powder. Everything goes back to another movie. It's okay.
I was thinking with
poisoned
Tylenol, but you go ahead.
Because that's what Wesley did. He built up a tolerance to iocane powder. That way, no matter which cup was chosen, he didn't die. They were both poisoned.
Okay. Did he then go on to have issues with his fertility like Chase does? Or was it a different concoction that caused that?
I don't know. We still have a lot to cover. So are we going to Ethan?
Sure.
So we pick up where... Oh, no. They were... Okay, so we actually have to go back to Monday at the Savoy. Okay. Friend Like Me is Jeannie's song.
Yes.
It is not a solo, even though it's a solo, because you need fanfare of all the dancers behind you. You need the stuff. It's a production.
Right. It's a song for a musical. It's not a solo song.
There are so many songs for musicals, though, that can be sung as a solo at an event like that. But and he's saying his signature song. Like, he's saying Jeannie's song. He was Jeannie. That makes sense. I just feel so bad because, like, I've seen videos of it and it is fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not.
Right.
And that just made me so sad. But I don't feel like the Savoy is such a musical place because we only ever see them when they have the special guests. We don't see them when they're having local bands playing or like a small orchestra, like a quartet or something in the corner.
They don't really have a stage. It's not like Luke's where this is the designated stage, sound system, etc.
Or Jake's.
Right.
The floating rib. They all had stages.
Right.
The Savoy, people go there on date night. And that stage that he was on is built up and then taken down.
Yeah.
So I think for that, I don't know, that confused me. But I guess Michael James Scott invited Gio to go back to playing anytime.
Yep.
Even though he's leaving Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's leaving. He's gone from Aladdin. Monday was his final curtain call.
Yes.
I don't know. That just
The whole, like, all of the Savoy scene, just, I didn't understand it. Like, the song was good. I love the song. That was fine, except for, I didn't feel like that was the song he should have sang there. And then all the conversations that went on at the Savoy, like Brooklyn and Chase not wanting to be there, and then them constantly offering Trina the music stuff, which we saw go further this week. And then Gio introduces Michael to Brooklyn and is like, this is my mom. And I'm like, you didn't even say biological mom or birth mom. You said mom. She does not deserve that title yet.
I think he misses having a mom.
I guess so, but...
And probably where Mother's Day is coming up, maybe but at the same time, his mom was his mom.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe, I wish that we at least saw him struggling with it instead of just the instant flip to mom.
Yeah. Or something to have happened. I don't know. There's not enough. And I don't know it obviously from a birth mom versus adopted mom, but even me with my kids getting a stepmom, if they eventually wanted to go to mom because she had been such an influence in their life, I was fine with that. Like, that was whatever. Sure, they got to that point. But if 2 weeks in, they would have been like, oh, mom, I would have been upset by that. Don't do that. I know it's been longer than 2 weeks, Gio. And
longer, but also he
Brooklyn,
struggled really hard with it. He was not immediately embracing it. So for him to go from that to like not even wanting to talk to her to suddenly calling her mom is
right, because it was so just Christmas that they started hanging out and it being like, oh, he's giving them a chance.
Right.
So it has been less than 6 months.
Yeah. But then she gets all dizzy because Curtis was talking about Jordan and the car and like all that stuff. And that's when she was like, oh, I need to sit down. And Chase is like, well, we can just leave, go back. And she's like, no, my dad was so insistent on having the night with Phoebe and all this stuff. And then they start talking about adoption and neither one of them wanted to bring it up first. And they're both so excited that they both want to pursue adoption. And Trina is surprised between school, the internship, and coaching baseball that Kai was able to see a kid in the hospital for 5 minutes.
Right? How did you find time for that, darling?
It took him less time than being at the Savoy.
Right.
But then also Molly's telling Cody that she's going to go on her book tour. And he's like, oh, well, I'll go with you if you want me to. And she's like, well, what if we have different hotel or travel styles? And we find out that Cody likes collecting the little hotel soaps.
Yes, that was so cute.
She's worried about them being together 24/7. And then he uses the term partner and like she got a look on her face. He's like, oh, was that too soon? Like, was that whatever? She's like, no, it actually just sounded right. I called my husband in when he started saying about how he likes how she overthinks. And he looks forward to overpacking and overplanning and overthinking with her.
Yes.
I thought that was good. They are. They really, really are. And then later in the week when they talk to Rick at the Metro Court and he's like, are you guys engaged?
I loved Molly's look like she wanted to punch him. Like, why would you even say that, Dad?
But was also kind of testing it.
Yeah.
Like, and what if we were, And it seems like Rick would be like, quick, but okay. But she tells him about the book being published. Then Ava comes over, steals him away.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, are you picking up on anything coming from them? I don't know. Oh, Sonny had talked to Turner about Rick.
Yes.
And about how Rick, like he gave him a chance and he thinks that Rick is turning on him.
He was really conflicted this week because he talked to Turner and then he went and talked to Alexis and asked both of them, like, what do you think? Because if he's not doing what he says he's doing, then this is the final straw. I'm over this, because he's hearing from Ethan that Rick has been meeting with Ava. And he flat out lied to Sonny. He told Sonny he had something to do with the DA's office. And that's why he asked Turner, was Rick at the DA's office? And he lied. He wasn't at the DA's office. He was hanging out with Ava. So, but I don't know what they're doing. I thought it was going to be something between the two of them where he might actually, I was doubting my theory of him being awful from a few weeks ago, that he was actually trying to do something good and get the peers back. And so he was working with Ava because Ava does.
Well, we don't know what they're doing.
We don't know what they're doing, but I thought for a minute it was going to be something like that because Ava does seem to have some influence over Sidwell. And so I was thinking maybe Sidwell doesn't need the peers. He was just pulling a power move, and Ava's got him to sell them back to him. But they're not doing it under Sonny's name because Rick kept saying something about we have to keep it hush hush, like under a different corporation or something so that it could get transferred out. But then they met at the art museum and they were talking about me hooking you, Ava saying, I hooked you up with this artist. You should be thankful. And I always keep my end of the bargains up. So are they really dealing with art? Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. I'm very, very confused by it because, like you mentioned, so Ethan at the beginning of the week went to Sonny and said that, he was on the pier making that phone call and said Delilah.
Yes.
And then Sonny came down and asked what he had on Rick and was like, well, I saw him. The thing is, Ethan's like, plenty. And then he's like, okay, tell me. He's like, well, I saw Rick and Ava talking. Well, what were they talking about? I don't know. It's not plenty, Ethan.
No, it's not. They could have been talking about the weather. Like, why are you reporting that?
But then he saw her also turn around and cozy up to Sidwell. So Sonny, I think that what got Sonny started on that. So, right, like he found out that he didn't go to the DA's office or anything. He's like, asking Ethan, why should I trust you? Because you don't like Rick. Then we see Ethan go to visit Tracy, and Tracy wants him to quit working for Sonny and says, oh yeah, Michael needs a man in Australia to scout locations for Aurora Wellness. He's like, I don't know anything about wellness companies, and I haven't spoken to Michael in years. And then that's when Brooklyn, Chase, and Phoebe come in, and they tell him how they wound up coming to foster her, and then just start going on and on about how they want to adopt the baby. And then they mentioned Delilah's name. And then that's where that ended for the day. And then when it ended, I was like, he didn't react the way that I thought he would. And then when it came back the next day and they're really talking about it. Oh,
that baby is so cute.
First of all, she is like seriously one of the cutest babies I think that I've ever seen on that show.
Yes, she is so cute. Babies. Yes.
It's that she's got those cheeks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and her eyes are all twinkly. She is adorable. Yes. She definitely is. They did really good casting, like we talk about with Donna and Sonny. She could actually be Brooklyn or Ethan's daughter, like with the way that her eyes are.
But except for neither of them have blue eyes.
I don't think they're blue, are they?
Baby's eyes are blue.
I don't think hers were.
Baby's eyes are blue.
I thought her eyes were brown.
Oh no, they're blue. They are like blue.
Oh, all right.
My eyes were gray until I was like 2.
I mean, I know they changed, but I thought that hers were already showing brownness to them. They're just like so sparkly.
They were like slate. Anyway, but yeah, you could just like see his heart breaking, and then he goes down to the piers and has a Polaroid of Delilah and talks to her about how he met the baby.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't say our baby or my baby, and so it's still like.
I think it is. I think he's starting to distance himself from.
He says, I was supposed to protect you. And so it's like, were they just working together, or is that his baby?
Okay, I want it to be Ethan's baby. I want her to be Ethan's. But at the same time, you're right. Like, I kind of don't then.
I don't think that. Right. I don't think that I want it to be Ethan's baby because I don't see him just giving his baby up that easily. Like, and I maybe obviously would take a few days to process or whatever, but he didn't give any hint to them that he knew her mom or that he could be the dad at all. So he's just going to come back next week and be like, okay, I'm going to sign the papers. I am actually her dad, so I can sign those papers for you so that you can adopt her. Like, that would be weird.
What was he going to do in that moment?
I don't know.
Because then also Chase was talking about how Delilah was hiding something. She was, they have all these suspicions about her and everything.
Yeah, and Brooklyn was like, really? You were suspicious of her? I was like, yes, we were all suspicious of her. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Your husband's a detective.
So real quick, baby Phoebe Wilson has been portrayed by a rubber doll.
Well, yeah.
And unnamed baby.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's breaking my heart. And then he lit the picture of Delilah on fire.
He did. Who carries a Polaroid anymore?
I'm guessing that they didn't want to be traced because I was thinking, doesn't he have pictures of her on his phone? And then it's like, probably not, because if they didn't want to be connected to each other.
Right.
So Polaroid's kind of your go-to. You don't have to worry about who at the photo shop is developing your film. Listen to me.
No one can go through your phone and see pictures of who you care about.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it because he's not going to go to Tracy and be like, hey, by the way, that's Luke's grandkid.
Right. So
yeah,
I don't know what they're going to say, but I kind of hope that it's not his because I don't want to see him giving her away.
Then Turner also went to Laura's office talking about Jordan's accident, and everyone keeps saying the same thing. The other car probably did not see. However, so Jordan's being discharged and she just wants to go home and lock the door behind her. And now we are seeing the burns on her neck. So now I am starting to see more of what they did a really, 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 really bad job of disclosing her injuries ahead of time because we're already annoyed and don't want anything to do with the storyline.
Yep.
And it's hard to come back from it, even though now we are seeing more scarring and burns and, bits and everything. But Curtis asks about the flowers and she's like, oh, they're from Frick. And then he tells her, okay, question. And I might have missed this. Was it ever declared that it was a BMW?
No, it was just a black car.
He tells Jordan it was a BMW. It was a black BMW and that Isaiah drives one.
Okay. Good catch. I don't think so.
He even said, isn't there a chance that the other driver didn't see us get into an accident? I'm like so over this.
Right. Oh, and then Laura says to Turner, I kind of like Isaiah. I heard from Curtis that is your suspect. Do you think that you can, look into that a little bit more before you decide that that's what happened? And Turner's like, Mayor Collins, are you asking me to cover something up? No, she's asking you to find the real evidence to make sure that what you're trying to convict him of, he did. Because right now you're just going off of what Curtis said, and Curtis is ready to pin it on him because he doesn't like him and because it's a black car.
Right. And Jordan even said, do you really think Isaiah would do that to me?
Right.
But
or to anyone, because she said he took the doctor's pledge. He's not just leaving people on the side of the road. And Curtis is like, well, wherever he got to, he must have heard that there was an accident. So he should have known that it was the one that he caused. There's not 1,000 accidents on roads every day.
And reiterating once again for the bajillionth time. I mean, I don't know. Every time I pass a car, I do not look in my rearview mirror. Do you?
No.
And granted, I mean, there was almost an incident. And so, yes, in that situation, if I had swerved off the road, I probably would look in my rearview mirror. However, it was nighttime. You didn't see them. There's a bend.
Right. Exactly.
How many times do people cross the other line and you do swerve to miss them? I never look behind me to make sure that they did not crash.
Right. Right. Especially the way that our roads are. They are super. 1 second you could be turning to the right and the next second you're turning to the left. So if I'd missed you on the first bend, I'm not continuing to monitor as I'm making the next turn. My eyes are on the next turn. I'm not looking in my rearview mirror.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need to wrap this up. I'm done. Let's just.
Right.
Especially where it is nothing.
Yep. Exactly.
Brooklyn. Okay, I'm sorry. It is Brooklyn. But
But even with it being Brooklyn, it was an accident that Jordan caused because she was kissing her man while they were driving. So let Brooklyn it come out. Okay, it was Brooklyn. Oops, she didn't realize there was an accident. She honestly didn't. It's not even like she's hiding that. She didn't realize.
Right. And then I think, so real quick, there's a new gallery exhibit. It's Solstices by Gavin Turk.
Okay.
Oh, and that's when Rick and Ava were talking at the gallery and Sonny and Ethan show up.
Yep.
And that's where we ended.
And Ava's like, I'll just step out. And Ethan's like, yeah, I don't think you will.
Yeah.
Also in the gallery, we saw Trina ask Gio if he would play backup for her interview, recording, whatever.
Now she's getting all these recording sessions and all this stuff because Gio's mom.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Right. And she's like, I just want someone to play with me. Like, I don't need it to be another professional. You're fine. Just come with me. So he agrees. Like, he's going to play the guitar at the same level that he plays the violin because he's talking about how the violin doesn't bring him the same joy. And I'm like, okay, dude, one, you practiced way longer than the other one. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. And it had a different connection to your parents.
Right.
But anyway.
What we missed was Lucas at the beginning of the week was snooping around Wyndemere. And Pascal caught him.
Yes, Pascal threatening him with the fire poker.
Yep. And said that he is responsible for Marco's death and that he needs to remove himself from the premises Ava and Sidwell came in, and Lucas is like, I was just getting on him about his lack of dusting. And he's like, well, Sidwell tells him, well, that's not even his job. So we don't really get on him about that. But then Lucas tells Sidwell about Christina's plan for the tennis courts, and Jens just offers to pay for them himself. And I did appreciate the fact that he was offering that. And I don't think that he realized, because he was not thinking Christina wants to seriously honor Marco, even though her dad, like whatever, because Jens even said, don't you think it's ironic? And he's like, but Marco saved her life. She wants to honor him. And that's when Ava said, can you just do a donation? Because it probably really means a lot to Christina that she fundraise and get more people involved with all of this. Because if you just write a check, there's no involvement. There's no, the community's not involved in that, and she really wants it to also be for their community, for the LGBTQ plus community at the center and everything. And if Jens just writes the check, yes, that's showing support and love and everything, but it's also not them coming together, honor someone in their community. So
yes,
hopefully he'll only sponsor one court.
Right. He said he'd make an anonymous donation. So hopefully it's not for the whole amount. It's just a nice chunk to get them started.
Right. But then later we saw Lucas and Felicia having dinner, and Carly showed up and told him that she broke up with Brennan. I couldn't really follow Lucas and Felicia's conversation, though.
They were just catching up because Felicia promised that she would keep a lookout over Bobby's kids as her best friend, which I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but that was just a weird way of them putting it together. I did love Felicia, though, whenever she was talking to Carly and was like, yeah, you're right. Like, this is how it goes whenever you have someone that's involved in the WSB and they're putting their career over top of their personal relationships. Been there, done that. And Carly makes some comment about it being like hard. It was hard for her to see that or whatever. And Felicia's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, yeah, Frisco.
Because, but Carly never saw that. So she probably forgets that.
But then Felicia got up and left them to talk.
It was a more loaded week than I thought it was.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot going on. And I was excited about some of this stuff. Like, it actually kept me wanting to know what was going to be next. I was happy for Friday's episode. Like, when Thursday ended, I was like, where are we going with this?
Yep. And I'm looking forward to Monday. So
yes, I don't understand a lot of it still, but I can't wait for the answers.
Yep. The only answer we have is the one we don't want to even deal with the storyline with anymore. It's Brooklyn just needs to come clean and say that it was probably her, and yes, she had a glass or two of wine. And you shouldn't drink or drive, but it was 2 glasses of wine.
Right.
It's not like she downed a bottle real quick and ran out of there. Like, she and Lucy I still think she only had 1 glass, though. I think that she had a glass with Lucy, and then maybe she had a little bit more. But I mean, it gave the perception of being over time. And the rule is like 1 drink an hour. So
yeah. And I know that she's concerned that they would say something about the alcohol and that would reflect on all of her Phoebe stuff and everything. But as far as ignoring the accident, it's not like she was drunk, that she normally would have noticed an accident but didn't because she was drunk. Right. She honestly just didn't notice the accident. And however it happened.
He is saying that.
Right. Yes. So let's be done with it.
Reality check.
So how was your week?
My week. It was pretty uneventful. Madeline had dance pictures. But then today was nice. I went out with one of my high school friends and we went to a tea party and had some yummy tea party food, baby sandwiches and scones and all that, and some yummy tea, and just got to get dressed up and enjoy hanging out and reminiscing about whatever and talking about how old the kids are. Like, she was my friend that when I was pregnant with Matthew and I didn't want to move back to Ohio, I lived with her and her family for a while. So it was her mom and dad and me and her that went to the tea. So it was nice just to get to talk to them. And I took a second to be like, thank you for everything that you did. Like, my girls talked to me about their friends having issues, and if they asked me, sure, I would probably, do what I could, but it doesn't occur to me to just be like, sure, let's have another teenager move into the house or whatever from back in that time. So it's a big deal that they let me live there and took such a good care of me and whatever. So it's just nice.
That's nice.
So yeah, but no other big plans. I'll hang out tomorrow with my mom for a little bit for Mother's Day, and I think we're gonna have a fire with Matt and them if it doesn't rain. But very low key Mother's Day in the forecast.
Cool.
How about you?
Same. I'm looking forward to doing nothing and hopefully finishing a book tomorrow.
Nice.
This week was actually kind of busy. So it was the annual Disability and Mental Health Summit. And when I was signing up for it this year, my immediate thought went to, oh, I'm going to have to see if my daughter can go to work with my husband. And then I was like, why? I mean, it was a split second before I went, nope, she can come with me now.
Right.
Because this is actually for her. Like, this is what we do this for. And so on Wednesday, we have yoga, and it was only 10 minutes from where the summit was. And so when I talked to JD, he's like, do you just want to stay down there? I'm like, yes, because I don't want to, because it would take an hour to get there at that time of day from our house, at least if there wasn't an accident, and that I'm like, yeah, and so we got a hotel room. So we went after yoga. We just went to the hotel and just kind of had like a little bit of veg time and everything. And it was just nice also for her and I to have like a night away. And then we both wake up early. So we went down, had breakfast in the hotel, went back up to the room, got ready, went over to the summit. It was different than she thought it was going to be, but I think she still had a good time. We wound up going, so we took our sessions ahead of time and then we changed one because we saw that one of the women who runs one of the organizations that we're connected with was speaking. And she's like, oh, I want to go see what she's talking about. And when I read the description, I was like, okay, like I didn't think the topic was going to be relevant to us, but I love this woman too. So I'm like, I wanted her to pick what we went and listened to because I wanted her to be in charge of what we were there for because it's her life is why we are there. Right. And it turns out that the description, it was talking about a program that much like other programs is incorrectly titled. Mm-hmm. So the type of program that it is something that she could actually benefit from. So we're going to look into it. And it's not something that has even been on my radar. I didn't know anything about it. And I wrote to the woman afterwards. I said, can you get me this information? And she's like, I would not have thought about that if you guys were not sitting in that room. Like, she's like, I definitely think that would be a great fit for her. She's like, but it would not have clicked with me. Right. To suggest that to you.
Well, there you go.
So, you always wind up where we're supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And then on Friday, she and I went to watch The Devil Wears Prada. It was pretty good. I've been seeing mixed reviews about it. I don't know. I think whenever it comes to sequels, they did enough throwbacks to the original, but I didn't think it was just, sometimes they do sequels and it's literally them just redoing the original and that's all they do. I didn't feel like it was that way. I felt like it was advanced enough, acknowledging also the things that have happened in 20 years, like technology and the way that it's changed things. So I thought it was good. And it was just enjoyable because she had not seen the other movie until this week. And she had texted me earlier in the week and was like, when can we watch this? And I was like, oh, we can watch it Tuesday. And so we watched it on Tuesday. And then when we were done, I was like, so do you want to go see the second one? And she said, yes. So we did.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. Madeline and I have not watched it yet. I was trying to introduce her to that, but then we started talking about Anne Hathaway and she said that she had not seen The Princess Diaries. So we started there.
There you go.
So we'll get to Devil Wears Prada eventually.
Good. Well, you know that, but I mean, it's just, yeah. And then on Friday night, so we're actually recording Saturday evening because Friday night, our local science center had a Beatles night. And so it was an over 21 after hours type of event. And so we went and there was like a local band singing their songs. They incorporated different science-y things. So they had a table of Beatles biology and it was like identify all the songs using all the, animals and different things that are in the songs, like, but they're on the table. So like, have to match song and everything. So it was pretty fun. They had a laser show. Yeah, it was just good. Had a good week. Good. So yeah. And then next week I'll have nothing. That's how that happens, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys can join us on Thursday as we talk with mother-daughter, fan spotlight, Emily and Renee.
I'm so excited. That was such a good interview.
What?
So have a good weekend. No, have a good week. Why am I back onto the weekend already? Because we were just saying that. Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
I would do that at least once a month for the rest of our lives.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review. And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.